Hey, good morning, good late morning, good late Wednesday morning, hump day morning. Uh, I decided to actually do a video. Literally got home maybe about 15 minutes or so ago. Excuse me. Swallowed some food real quick, drank something real quick, came, sat down, and I saw this position that looked eerily similar to what we did on Sunday, and I'm now holding myself accountable by trading this position in my practice account. And I've got my hands in my lap. Why? Because I was extremely tempted to jump into my Tradeify account and take this position, take it long. Now, you could ask why would I do it just based on the CPI day? I've always said it wouldn't be in front of CPI and all of that, right? Which is 100%. It is true. And that is the other component as to there may be something else afoot, right? There may be something else related to this move, but I wanted to show you something. And I was talking about it ironically enough Sunday when we had our 3K day. So let's pinch this down just for a minute. Remember I drew this out? It's been on the chart since before Sunday. So this was Sunday. This was the run up on Sunday. And if you remember, I said then, because this was drawn out, you remember me saying I was looking basically for price to get back into here, right? And then ultimately we were looking to get up here. I said there's obviously something about that fair value, right? But I was looking for price to come back in here. Well, we got a portion of the way up there. We didn't complete. So the one thing that I was saying on Sunday is, despite this move, it's off hours. It's still going to be considered electronic trade hours. It's not regular trade hours. So I kept saying this never happened, right? And I said, I'm not going to hold overnight. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing my own words. But I basically said, I'm not going to hold overnight. We've got news. We've got all of these things coming up this week. And the likelihood is we'll probably come back down here and and run back up, because this never happened. That was just my way. And it's always been my way of kind of just conditioning certain things. So again, clarity, right? The gap down, we caught the position and rode it back up, and we got out somewhere up in here, right? Okay. Fast forward to today. CPI this morning, which obviously was not here, and it was massive. So, yeah, if you caught this move, you get, that was a banger. one candle. That was. Hey, somebody had a good morning, and there's some people that we're not gonna see like the groundhog until like next year or something. But I digress. But CPI came back, and like I said, I just got home, so it kind of works out, I guess you could say. And you could ask, why would I get in here? Well, the structure told me I could get in here. Structure told me that. So when I went back, and I'll just do this because it is a video. I'm not going to edit any of this. It's just going to be raw. So hopefully you can see it. But if you notice some things here to the left, right? This was obviously the long run up, but this was of just particular interest to me, that level, right? Same level here. We came back in and we established basically, excuse me, it might have been like, well, this would have been the low. My goodness, excuse me. But we basically tapped back into previous day, but it was still electronic trade hours. But nonetheless, there was still some mitigation there. There was a gap that was formed. We closed that gap, right? So kept these on as references. I never took them off. We come back in this morning, and what is this? Again, it's pre-New York Open, so it's the pre-market. So we tap back into the 830 based on CPI. We tap back into this level, right? Then we run it out. So you got a low. That's debatable whether or not that's a high with this candle as well. So I'm not going to necessarily say that this is indicative, but if you're looking at the structure itself, that would be a low just based on, and then you could say that's a high and that's a lower low. You could go that far if you want. I'm just going to treat it from where price came back into this specific level, because came back into this specific level. And then I just watched it. And what I mean when I say watched it is, I got here, I sat down, I opened my chart, and I saw this here, but the first thing my eye went back to was this. And I said, well, shit. Is this the same? But I asked myself, is this the same move we took Sunday? Well, guess what? We took that move Sunday when what? It wasn't regular trade hours. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. So I just kind of eyeballed and said, okay, well, Sunday we didn't come back here. So maybe this has established a low. This could very well be an order block. Moved up and in, so you've got some fair value here. And once I saw this, I said, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to put my stop down here. At this point, I'm going to move I can probably move my stop into profit, but I'm not going to be that presumptuous. I'm just going to put it at this low because it's only 11:44. So technically we're not even into the lunch hour. So don't know, but I say all of these things to say this level here, still looking for that to deliver. But in the interim, I'm looking at present structure. Let me lock that. I don't want to have anything slide around here. I would be just looking at the most recent structure delivery. And even though this is a pre-market, I'm still looking at this area, and I was a little loose with that. I think I might have just pulled this up. But yeah, we may pull back here, possibly, before we move up. But this is the overall objective. I'm literally just looking at about half of what I think the expected move is. So I will admit this is somewhat of an arbitrary level because, and I'll show you, and this was just my eye test. You see that? So I will say, yes, it is an arbitrary level, but if you notice, it's halfway from what I originally looked for on Sunday versus where I entered. So while it was arbitrary, it's still somewhat strategic, right? But yeah, I had to do this video for a couple of reasons. One, I knew I wasn't going to necessarily live stream today. Just like I said, got home. It was a little bit of a long morning. I'm kind of tired. And I could probably afford to shoot a video, do some talking, some interaction here. And then, the way I'm feeling right now, I just kind of want to take a shower and just kind of go crash out for a bit. But I felt compelled to make this video to reflect back on that Sunday, to then look at this position, and then just to share with you guys, yeah, I'm actually considering jumping in this. And this is like, you all are my accountability partners, because I said I wasn't going to take another position this week. And lo and behold, I was this close. Something said, make the video. Something literally was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Make the video and tell on yourself. So that way, if you make another video and your Tradeify combine account balance is higher than what it was, if your subscribers want to chew on you, they can, because you lied. So I don't need that kind of heat. I don't want that smoke. So here we are. So I'm gonna sit. Excuse me. I'm gonna sit in this. See how and if it plays out. What the crazy thing is. Oh, and while we're at it, I did take a position last night in Globex, very small position. So technically, we passed the account. So I'm at $9,010.56, and with this current position that I'm in, we're already up to 160,000 in the account. So, matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do this.
Order filled.
Bam. So out $160,107.76. So that was a quick 1,000 on that. So 10,000. That's a decent looking number. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. We'll get there. And yeah, we'll get there. I'm not going to break my arm patting myself on the back in any way. I also kind of wanted to share some of these metrics with you guys as well. This is primarily, obviously, just like my journaling and my back testing and trying to, again, just refine entries and what I'm looking for and be very, very specific in what I'm looking for. This particular practice account, kind of like the last 150K practice account, I've been acting and operating off of quite a bit of very specific discretion in positions. And why is that important? Couple things. As always, this isn't really anything new. I'm only using one contract, regardless of what. This particular account, I wouldn't necessarily say is, super impressive. But one thing that I would like to, say, because I recognized, was the fact that I've taken 16, 17. So when this refreshes over tonight, I've taken 17 positions in this account. We've won 16 out of 17 positions. Now, that could just mean, that I've just been in sync and in tune with market delivery and structure, which can happen. It doesn't mean like I'm freaking Doctor Strange and I can see everything and, I'll never have another red day ever. It's not that. It's just, again, and I'm sharing this for people kind of like Chris. Shout out to Chris. Was in a live stream yesterday, and we were talking back and forth about the psychological aspects of just not giving up and not quitting. So I mentioned Chris and the things that we were talking about, and one of the reasons I even wanted to share this is no matter where you are, right, and no matter how dialed in you think you are, there glimpses and there's a glimmer that we will, kind of find ourselves in those veils where in those moments, yeah, you might not be able to do any wrong. You might be extremely successful, but those are also the times where you have to remain especially, excuse me, especially vigilant and extremely diligent in the craft, and not step back and think you got it all figured out and there's nothing else to do. There's always going to be work to do. It just means that, again, your processes, your proof of concept is availing itself. It's showing you. And it just means, hey, I just need to remain vigilant in these moments. So when I have an account like this, and this is probably, if I'm honest about it, this is probably the most emphatic or one-sided completion. This is the fifth, I believe this is the fifth 150K practice account that I've completed successfully in the last month. Now, in total, I think I've attempted 8, and out of the 8, I didn't blow the other 3. I literally, like, when I got to, I think a couple of them, I got to like $1,000 in drawdown. I think the most I had in those 3 was like maybe 2,500 in drawdown. And then I reset the account. So again, that's just more transparency. So I'm not going to sit here. It'd be easy for me in a video just to simply tell you, oh yeah, this is the 5th one I've passed and I'm 5 for 5. No, I'm not. I'm more like probably 5 for 8. And the fact that they got reset doesn't negate the fact that they didn't get completed. I just reset the accounts because I was at that point, and at those junctures, I was trying to determine, while kind of going back and reevaluating some of my trading plan, I wanted to start from scratch and not from drawdown. However, now I'm, going to build probably a different type of a narrative and go back in and reevaluate, having made some changes, the things to look out for, so that when there is maybe that 1K loss or the potential of a 2K loss, knowing that your max drawdown is 4,500 here, there's still going to have to be some fine tuning, because that's not something that you want to see. That's essentially 1 to 3 trades away from blowing a 150K account, and that's not something that I would want. So, having said all of that, I just think that it just speaks to the level of commitment, and I'm not patting myself on the back. This is more or less, again, just to show you guys, but then also say to the person or persons that are striving and moving in the same direction. It's like, not only do you not give up, but you can celebrate the wins, right? You can be very confident. You could be satisfied. You could be proud of yourself, and you should be proud of yourself for making the positive steps in the correct direction, but just always understanding that no matter how much more you learn and there's still more to learn to be able to develop and grow. And on top of that, govern your emotions accordingly, meaning you can celebrate to some degree or have like an exuberant nature about yourself when you've been successful in those moments or in positions. But I would liken it to maybe a professional athlete, right? And I'm a hockey guy, and that might be a bad analogy, honestly. It might be. That's a bad analogy. Maybe more so football, right? Old school football, not this new rig stuff. Old school football. When somebody like a Joe Montana would throw Jerry Rice a touchdown, right? He threw the ball, Jerry Rice scored a touchdown. Jerry Rice didn't get into the end zone and just like start celebrating like crazy in the game. In the beginning of the game, it's 7-0, and there's, at that point they used to play 15-minute quarters, so it's like 13 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Jerry Rice wasn't celebrating in the end zone. Like, he just won the Super Bowl and the game was over. It's 7-0, right? He would act as if he'd been there before. So when I say just govern your emotions, there is a learning curve, and then there's an emotional curve to speculation, to trading, right? Where sometimes you see numbers that you're not accustomed to seeing. This $10,000 is sitting up here in profit, even though it's in a practice account. Here's a fun fact for you. I think up until maybe 3-4 years ago, I think the most that I was ever able to generate, even in a demo when FTMO was kind of still a thing or a possibility, I think the most I saw in an FTMO demo account might have been like $2,000 for me. And this is several years ago. And there are two things that happen. Like, obviously there's a stimulation that says, holy crap, that's a big number. And, oh, what could I do if I could replicate and do that, a couple times a month, or even, dare I mention, a couple times a week? Holy shit. Right. But there's the reality at that intersection that would lead you to think, oh, well, if I did it then, I can definitely do it now. And that now compromises you emotionally, because now you're in a trade, and it's not you and the technical analysis or the price action. It's you and the analysis of whether or not you're going to be able to replicate that $2,000. Because see, now it's real. So now it's feeling. It's not mechanical. It's all emotion, because you've seen a number that you're not accustomed to seeing, okay, in real time. And most people see those types of numbers during this time of year, tax season, right? For those that get tax returns, get a few $1,000s back, and depending on what you do, for a living. But the point that I'm making is just temper your emotional responses. It's always good to be happy and relish in the fact when you've been successful, but just kind of understand like that's the tip of the iceberg. Like, that's what you're trying to do, but don't look at it as a win to celebrate. Look at it as a window to consistency, because when it happens often enough, guess what? It's something that you would anticipate based on trade plan, proof of concept, and your edge. You're looking for consistency to be maintained. Conversely, when you lose, there's not this incessant, behavior that says, I have to get to the bottom of it. Well, you can look and maybe you miss something. That's possible. But ultimately, if you're following your plan every time, you're checking those boxes, and sometimes things just don't work out, right? They just don't. It doesn't matter, even when you check all the boxes. Let's look back in here and see. Yeah, I was going to say, if I came back in here, maybe it reversed out and, my idea wasn't, didn't play out, but it's playing out. Actually up to, I was trying to add, but I guess I took it off. Oh well. That's fine. But yeah, I'm not going to hold you guys. 25 minutes might be long enough, but I appreciate everybody that's tuned into the video. We should be back tomorrow for a live. Getting out of work today was, like I said, it was a little bit of a struggle this morning, a little bit more than what was typical or what we anticipated. So got out late. So hopefully tomorrow's a better day for Thursday, and I could be back a little bit closer to or right after like the establishment of the initial balance in the morning, and then we'll look at that and kind of go from there. See what jobless claims does tomorrow morning, and what that could mean for maybe a post AM New York AM session, or even PM session trade if there is said thing to have. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Always looking to see what we could do on the road to 200 subscribers right now. So big shout out to everybody that subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you guys. I did say that when we get to 200, I'm probably going to do a live, and that'll be tomorrow, or I might do it when we do the recap video. I'll announce more. I don't want to get to make this longer than what it has to be right now, but we'll talk about that. I want to do a giveaway at a certain subscriber threshold, but I'll talk to you guys about that in the next one. So take care. Have a good day. Stay safe. Stay profitable. And I'll see you next time.